Hello, people of the future, and welcome back to making a collectible card game, virtual card game, whatever this thing's going to be called. I think that's going to be my intro now. Very much inspired by Mr. Toke. But yeah, as you got in the last video, this is really my system of cost. These are what the cards are going to be cost on. Now, I am going to be going over to hero traits, which has a lot of info on it. And I do mean a lot of info. As in, like here, like this is all hero trait stuff. Merely, this is really all the hero traits are right now. A hero trait is basically something that's gonna be able to be used once per turn, or that sits with the hero. It's the hero is, oh, I don't have a card to finish my turn, I can use this hero ability of mine, special ability or whatever. Like with the warrior, for the cost of 2 earth, which if we go back to sheet 1, earth is about shielding. So for 2 earth, they gain some armor, which is additional health on their hero. Their hero starts at currently 75, and you gain 4 for using your hero trait. You will have multiple hero trait slots because there are other cards like this. This merely is a neutral one, which I didn't say where it came from because I know where it is, but you guys really don't. Like, the 2 pink ones also come from a other source. But like this, for 4 earth and 2 stone, start summoning carved warriors. You carve a warrior out of stone, which is where I got the entire idea of stone as well. Trying to help prove some stuff in the last video, to help linearize some stuff in the last video. But yes, like this, if you notice like anything special here, like these 3, that means they all aren't normal. And if you notice, I also have Brawler, which takes 1 dark and 2 air, which is a lot more expensive than just the 2 earth, because a dark, remember, is a tier 2 element. And I know I'm hitting a lot of the more complex stuff first, but I just want to throw what I have out, then I'll be showing, well, here's some cards down here, which, let me just say, as you see, these are getting removed. But this is because it's a second class, or I'm not so sure on how to explain this. But like Archer has a passive and a active ability, unlike Thief, which only has a passive. The Archer's passive is immune, which means they don't take damage. Their hero, or whatever the immune is to, doesn't get hurt while doing the things, or while their turn, or whenever the immune happens. So the immune happens while the hero, or the character, the player's character, I don't know what to call it yet, is attacking with bows. And if you ever see something like in quotes, that usually means it's a name of something. Like over here, you summon Aspiring Squires, which is a 0-1. That is not a fraction. That is not a fraction. Like all these are not fractions. You don't summon 3 rush. You don't summon half taunt. Or whatever the heck these are. I don't know on my mathing over here. But yeah, these are not fractions, so forewarn. And admittedly, these are, I'm hoping to have 3 hero trait slots. Most of the design doesn't have many hero traits. Some might be dropping down to 2, but I'm hoping to have multiple hero trait slots. But like with Archer, you deal for your passive, which means whenever you have a bow and attack, that whenever it's passive, you're immune. For 2 fire, you deal 1 damage to an enemy minion, which is a card the opponent put down, and has health. The minion has health and attack, well, strength and power in my case, and the enemy hero. Whereas Prowler has suspiciously immune while attacking with bow. It's like I almost copied and paste this, and then give a minion shadow walking. But shadow walking is my version of stealth. It's the practical stealth. I do have a few interesting things, but now if I go down to just going on through, light is a big effect in my game. And it's one that I haven't tested yet because its class hasn't been seen the light of day. Honestly, it's not well worked on right now. But mad scientists also, if you also know something, blue to like dark blue, green to dark green, purple to supposed to be darker purple, red to dark red, gray to dark gray, pink to, honestly, just color flop on these 2. I ran out of color ideas. I originally designed this game with 5 classes: Warrior, Archer, Mage, Crusader, and Priest, with 5 sub-classes, where if you ever look at a collection in a card game and know about like ratios of cards or stuff like that, my initial idea was making a class set. Every class would have 20 unique cards. 15 would be all 20 would be like, I'd have 20 warrior cards, which I'll actually just pop over to in which one have I not designed too heavily? Like, okay, if I pop over to here, as you guys see, I have a lot of cards right now, or not that much. I originally designed 5, well, I was thinking of having 15 cards, and then like 5 would be twisted cards, being corrupted cards, because this is also a idea I got off of Hearthstone a little bit. And I'm saying this was actually off of a Anduin with shadow form, because I was originally going to give the priest something, but I'm like, I don't want to give the priest another like shadow form like Hearthstone has. So I made a little bit of a different guy, which I know I'm going way off trait, but this is about hero traits and stuff. Way off topic, not trait. They made the Corruptor, which is a minion which has cost of earth, air, water, fire. It has mana cost, and it has health. And because I've learned, I need to make that deeper. I have playtested some of these cards. As I say, a lot of classes are not heavy tested because they're not heavy designed. But like the Corruptor changes to alternate class and replaces main hero trait. This, apparently, 2 minds think alike here. As I say, I love Hearthstone, and as I said, this game really came around with Ungoro, because I will say one thing for anyone who actually watches me and knows Ungoro: Grand Elemental Lord. I designed this card 5, 6 in the morning. A few hours later, they unrelease Calamos, the Primal Lord. I'm like, yep, we both had similar ideas, using elements to make an elemental supercharge. But here's something. As you guys see, there's no cost on my Lord except mana. Because if you actually, and also look, power is my attack, strength is the health of the minion, and then its effect, which is a long effect. Because this kind of was designed before I realized, before I met Calamos the Primal Lord, which had elemental incantations or something like that, I forgot now. I played Control Shaman for so long, as you guys remember. Control Warrior, Control Shaman, I played. I'm like, oh, similar. And hi. Fire, both of us deal damage. Water, both of us heal. Earth, Hearthstone summons minions where I gain armor. I say shielding, but I also was thinking minions. And once I saw that, I scrapped the other version. And for air, what was this? Oh yeah, their air is the most common one idea, which is like a board clear for the opponent. Whereas me, I said air is speed. Speed is like attacking the turn you summon. So rush. And it gets buffier. And all this depends on how much you played. So you could play this turn 1 and spend 1 fire to deal 1 damage. And you can just put this in at the end of a turn, if that makes sense. Because if you have like an element that you didn't use this turn or something like that, you can always play this because I didn't give it a elemental cost, only give it a mana cost. But you're going way off topic. But like, I did design this guy right before it actually did get released. It's sad. And the Corruptor also kind of feels very similar, but it's like, eh. Oh yeah, and Spell Empowerment, one of my oldest designs, and I'm not letting this thing go too far down. Way off topic. But yeah, going back. I originally was going to have like, whoops, I'm on the wrong class. This is play version, which is actually a lot more simplified. But I'm just going to highlight what I originally had. Like, okay, the five places I've highlighted were the original 5 cards of the Death Knight. And I swear this is before Un'Goro. This is during Un'Goro's release days. I honestly need to change the names. Some of these are designed afterward. But like those 5 were the original ones, which were called Twisted because Corruptor, twisting, makes people evil, twisted. I was thinking more Cthulhu, N'Zoth, the old gods, corruption, stuff like that. So I was originally going to give it, but then I'm like, I was originally just going to give 5 cards into the normal class and have them locked, but then I'm like, I started designing. I loved one class in particular, which is why it's practically done, and that's where I actually got the I started designing stuff, and I'm like, okay, what was the original? I'm gonna find the original of these, that way you guys can see how this came about. And yes, it is kind of something. I designed all the secondary classes really off of a keyword, which was cash at the time. And then I'm like, oh, Hearthstone, you're releasing stuff like Avian Watcher, and I'm mentioning a lot of Hearthstone because it is one of my biggest influences, and I'm trying to cut, but it's hard. It's like, I know I'm diving right into this. And I know I'm recording this, and for anyone wondering, this is at the end of the episode practically. I'm recording a few batches of a few episodes of this in this same night. So, yes. Forgive me for overloading in the first few. But I gotta just overload you with info to sell you on the idea or not. Like, I had 5 cards from each, which were the original 5. Like, Archer was the cash, because Archer was going to be more aggro oriented, so later in the game you would need cards to live, if that makes sense. If you're playing more cards than you're drawing from your deck's not gonna be shoving you, force feeding you cards, so you would need to make cards somehow. So that's where cash drop came in and other ideas. And then I found out, scrap idea, just make Prowler its own class from Archer. And this was designed way before. And that's where I gave every class a split power, because I was originally just going to do Priest and Warlock. Then I thought, hey, Warrior could go from like a Knight in armor to a more of a Roman, a gladiator. Remove the armor, go to the nighttime, and gladiators. Mage can experiment a little too much and become a little crazy. The Crusader might lose his faith in the light. And as I said, I designed 5 classes. Then came these, which is why they're both like the first passives I had. The immune while attacking with bows is actually something I just felt like doing later. But yeah, Thief and Mastermind came way after the Corruptor. And I just felt I wanted to have the class of just steal. The class of thievery, of trickery, of thief, steal, creation. I just wanted a class of create, not draw. You don't want to draw with thief, is what I'm hoping for. But this is a lot of design idea, which I'll definitely go better into next episode, even though I kind of did it this way. So with that, see you guys next time.